Good morning. It is June 6th and it is early morning. I normally do these videos on Thursdays, but yesterday was really hot and we had some stuff going on yesterday evening. So here's a Friday morning video. There is the pot on the deck, which is looking great, especially because we just repainted the deck, so it really gives it some pop. Let me show you the kids' garden over here, which has had some very big updates. So let's start with, we've got new dirt down. We've got a divide system going here. So right in the middle here is the his side, her side. So we've got my son's side is over here. My daughter's side is over there. My daughter's side has a bunch of tomato plants, which are mystery plants from last year. They're the babies of what was here. Against the fence we had a cherry tomato, and over here we had a glacier tomato. So we'll see if we end up with either of those plants or a hybrid, because bees will do that. And right down the middle there, we've got the acorn squash. I think it's some kind of squash that was tossed out here over the winter and it grew. Yay! But let me go a little closer and I'll show you a little more. Okay, so here is my daughter's side. You can see all the tomato plants and they go all the way around. I did plant marigolds in between, as well as a few sunflowers over here. The sticks were just a visual, like, don't come in the garden because the kids are still learning the pathway thing. But the biggest thing that's helping is I had bought this trellis last fall and I couldn't find it. So that's why I went and bought all the green ones that are the 5 foot by 10 foot. And when I found this, it's actually a 15 foot. And I was looking for a way to keep my toddler and my dog from running in here. And this has been up for a week and is actually working. I really thought this would be a complete fail and the toddler would be right in and the dog would be right in, and nobody's in. It's great. Over here we have cute little butterflies that I found at Home Depot, and they're really cute because they kind of wiggle. So these were the mini ones. These ones were like $4.98, I think. But the kids thought it was really cute. We have bush beans planted here. Along the back there is, I think, a carrot from last year. We'll find out. And a little tomato there that we didn't move when we put the dirt down. There are sunflowers and some regular flowers planted back there. And over here, he put in a wildflower mix, which is like zinnias and baby's breath and whatever kind of blend those are. And in the corner here, we have the tomato that I bought from the store, which is supposed to be a slicing Better Boy tomato. I wasn't really sure where to put the pot, but it kind of worked out that I seeded this whole area and I got to the end and I didn't have enough to finish the corner here. So we're like, oh, what are we going to put here? Oh, we'll just set a potted tomato there. Okay. So that's the kids' garden. Let's move on to the big garden over here. Okay, we are now in the big garden. I guess we'll work from this side. So the clematis is still looking meh, but it's not totally meh. Like, there's still live bits. The oregano has gone crazy. How do I explain this? This is like hip high for me. So that is some very tall stuff. It looks like it's trying to go to seed though, so I'm gonna have to nip all the tops of this, and I guess I'll dry that. Trying not to step on violas. We've got the pineapple. Let me go this way. We've got the pineapple, which is huge. And it's got brown tips, but it's still looking to be doing all right since moving outside, so yay. And then over here, new addition, got a new fig because last year's fig is very, very dead. So this year's fig is there. My husband says to me, haven't you given up on figs because you got a fig and it died and you got another fig and it died? And I said, neither of those was my fault. So the first one was I put it in the ground, he mowed it. So, I mean, I can't help it if you're going to run it over with the lawnmower. And the second one got taken out by a house fire. I'm like, neither of those was my fault. I'm going to try again for the fig thing. And this one looks large and happy, and we'll see how that goes. And I'll have to have my mom put coffee grounds on it when she's over and has coffee, because I'm a tea drinker. Although the tea bags probably can go in there too. All right, looking down here, we've got lots of violas. Hidden in the viola patch is still a little lavender, which is kind of funny. The chives, I did dig out a section and give it to somebody, so now it's got some room to expand over again, because that was looking a little crowded. I'm sure the little weeds stuck in here are not helping. Over here, we've got little baby chives. The parsley my mom gave me is looking good. This one's a little but it looks like overall they have transplanted into this pot, which is a good sign. And down here we've got the strawberry plants, and my kids have picked a couple strawberries, which they've been very happy about. Moving on to the cherry blossoms. So they have migrated into the yard because of redoing the deck. They were kind of in the way, painting the deck. So we've got one here that still has a green tip, and this big one here still has a green tip. The rest of them are kind of looking dead, so I'm not really sure where this is going to go. At this point, they are in the garden. They are getting watered with everything else when I water, and just hoping something comes of it, because it's really just a wait and see. Over here we've got the peas, and they are looking quite happy. They're really tall now. They are about waist high for me. And we've got tons of flowers. And I've also discovered there is a little pea right there. It's actually a pretty sized pea. I haven't really looked at it to see if there's any more on here. I imagine there must be, and I'm just not seeing them because they blend in really well. The sunflower here is kind of sneaking over, but it's still contained, so it's all right. Oh, look, we've got a pea plant growing on this. So if you've ever heard the Seven Sisters, where you grow the sunflowers with the peas, I guess this shows you how that is a symbiotic relationship where the sunflower is growing and the peas are growing up it. Although I'm still trying to figure out the timing of pea plants with sunflowers. I mean, in this case, this sunflower overwintered, so it's huge, but all the ones that I planted are like this big, so I don't know how you'd figure that out timing wise, because peas get planted when it's still kind of cold. Anyway, moving over to these sunflowers. These are the ones that were really upset about being moved around when I put new dirt in here. You can see that the leaves are dead, but they do have replacement leaves right here. So I'll zoom in a little bit. So we've got replacement leaves here. I'm probably going to have to come out here and snip this, because these do not just pull away like some dead leaves on tomato plants. Speaking of the tomatoes, down here we've got the mystery tomatoes that I believe are going to be the hybrid purple cherry tomatoes. At least I hope that's what they are. As I said, bees could turn them into anything they want to with cross-pollination, but I am hopeful it is what I want it to be. At least some of them. I did lose one on the end here, so I'm just going to leave that space empty, I think. Or I had put the little one on in the pot on the end over here. So if that starts looking a little crowded, there is space on the end here. I can move it this way. I have been adding green onions all over the place. So here's some green onions I bought from the store, and I moved them out here. And oh, I did put some right there. So I'm just kind of putting them willy-nilly all over the place, because I'm trying to keep the voles out, because I was told, hey, it keeps the voles out. So guess what? There are green onions like planted everywhere. The red leaf lettuce here is looking amazing. Maybe I'll pick some of that for my husband, because I don't really eat it. And then these are the ones that I had put in a while ago that I cut off what I need for dinner, and then I grew them in water, got the root going nice, and I put them out here, and they are huge. They are over a foot tall. So they're doing great. Yay! Over here are the acorn squash. These are not mystery squash. These are actually acorn squash, which I know is so confusing. Like, what? I actually know what a squash plant is in my garden. I don't remember if I replanted any seeds in here, which it goes back to the whole I need to do videos when I plant things because I literally forget. But I put in the fresh soil, so I had to dig out all the cruddy soil and put the fresh soil in, and they're looking way happier since I did that. Happy little plant. Okay, over here the bok choy are looking great. So we've got the leeks here, which is ones that I'd use. You can see they were chopped. So there's 4 leeks that I had made for dinner and then planted out here. The bok choy, I did try and thin this out when I was redoing the dirt, but the 2 I moved over here and 1 I moved over here did not take. They died like immediately, like by the end of the day. So I just came back and put some new seeds in. I guess it's the heat. It's too much for them to move like that. Oh well. I did replant some marigold seeds around. I did replant basil seeds. Oh, so like over here, I replanted the basil there and the basil there. And then over here, I did plant basil like in here. So I just did that on I don't know, 2 days ago? I don't even know now. Anyway, we've got Estiva tomatoes. So these are both Estiva tomatoes. I have never grown them before. I have no idea what I'm going to get with that. That should be interesting. And over here is a black crim. So the black crim actually had a really pretty flower. So this is like a standard flower, but this flower that it had, which has now like fallen off, it was like really fluffy. So it was a really fluffy flower. It was really interesting. So I'm curious if the plant will get any more like that. Like, it kind of looks like this little one here might go that direction too, but we'll see how that goes. Black crim should be a dark purple one, and the reason I actually look for dark purple or purple tomatoes instead of red tomatoes is the birds won't mess with them for me. I lose a lot of tomatoes that are red to birds chewing on them. And when I grow purple tomatoes, they don't realize that they're tomatoes and they leave them alone, which is really nice. I do have less problems with tomatoes now than I did when I first started this garden as far as being eaten, but I still prefer the purples just because it's a trick that works with the birds. So this was mint that somebody gave me. So whichever one this one wants, I zoomed in too much, sorry. So I have different kinds of mint. So like here's one that looks like it is taking. I thought it was like dead, but there's some alive leaves on there, and there's actually a little new leaf down there. And then this is different kind of mint here. And then the mint over there is doing really well in the pot. And then over here, here's the mystery tomatoes that are truly mystery in that they came from the planter over there, which had about 4 different kinds of tomatoes growing in it last year. So I have no idea what I'm going to get with these. I could get a really crazy hybrid of, I'll have to go look and see what I even had growing in there from last year's videos, because I'm really curious what I could end up with a cross of. I did come back through here and I have marigolds growing, and I did plant some green onions along this edge. I do remember doing that. To help with keeping critters from wanting to run in here. Speaking of onions though, we do have little tiny onions growing here, and we have a little row here. I see 3, 5, and 3 here, and then there's like a little grass weed here. So 1, 2, and there's a little one that's a late start there. Happy news is there are peppers on the hot cherry peppers. Here's nasturtium that's starting to come up. and a sunflower starting to come up. I did go heavy-handed on growing the nasturtium this year because they really do help with the squash bugs. So over here, this is my zucchini and my cucumbers, and I planted nasturtium like all over this bed. Like there's one there, I filled in a hole over here, there's two here, there's one here. I think I put one on the end here when I came back and replanted some more. I planted another one here, and there's one, and then I've got my chamomile fallen over. I put a little stick on it, but it's not really keeping it upright. I just want to start learning to go in the direction it needs to go. But it just keeps falling over. Oh, look at all the flowers on the cucumbers. Cucumbers have some very happy flowers on them right now. Oh, they are starting to make tendrils. So hopefully that means it will start climbing up this. Let's see. This one's got the tendrils right here. I just saw a bug. Oh, what we got there? Oh, we got a little bug that looks like a watermelon. Great. I don't know what that was, but that's probably not good. Anytime you see bugs on things, it's always like, oh boy. As far as bugs go on the chamomile, I did come out here and smush the, what are they called? The aphids. I did come out here and smush the aphids by hand with my gloves. And since doing that, I've only seen the occasional like one or two. It really, really helped. So anyone who's like, oh, what do I do about aphids? Squish them with your gloves. Like, really, it worked. People were like, oh, you should like hose them off. But I tried the hosing and it didn't take any of them off. I was borderline hurting the plants instead of getting the aphids off at that point. I did have a tomato plant that needed a home here. That's a cherry tomato plant that I was given along with the black crim and the estiva. And let me pause this for a second because there's a plane going over. Yeah, we've got a little plane going over. Okay, it should be quiet enough to get back to the video. I think we're in like a line of air traffic or something. We get a lot of those little biplane type things flying over, little personal planes. Over here, the Romas are looking really good. My mystery Roma, so this is the baby that I found in the Roma bed in the spring here. So this may be a Roma, it may not be, but I did put in the Roma bed hoping that's a Roma, because with them so densely planted last year, I imagine that any babies of them would likely be properly pollinated by a bee to be more Romas. But I say mystery because it could be a Roma because of where it was located, but it could be a hybrid because of bees. So we'll see how that goes. I have replanted the basil in here, and I do have some little marigolds popping up in here. And invading my space here is the blackberry. I'm not really sure what to do about this. The blackberry that I planted was a thornless variety, but you can see this is clearly not thornless, so when I bump into this, it hurts. So I have to get my gloves whenever I'm trying to scooch past it, and it's kind of sneaking in here. I really want to be on the other side of the fence, but I don't really know how to deal with that at the moment. That's a problem for not right this second, because right this second I want to finish doing my walkthrough video here. So we've got the first bit of sunflower. Okay, let me see. Can you see that? There is a sunflower bud. The first flower is starting. That's so exciting. I'm so happy. I love coming out here to do these videos because I get to discover things I missed just walking through here. Like, I watered last night and I didn't catch that, and I didn't see there was a pea, and it's just exciting. It's really exciting for me to share these videos with you because it gets me out here looking at things differently. We've got the eggplants. They are looking really good. So they were really unhappy when I first planted them. They were yellow, and I think that was because of the awful dirt. So this dirt is dried out, and you can see it's like light and fluffy, which is so nice compared to that crusty stuff, which is actually on my pathways here. So you can see like it's dry and dusty and yuck. But it did help fill in the pathways, so I did use it to help level the paths a bit so that the stones aren't sticking up as bad. So at least some good came of the awful dirt being used somewhere, even though in my garden beds it was really the wrong place for it. Alright, I think that covers pretty much everything, except these pots that I haven't talked about lately. So down here we've got the foxlet thyme, we've got the rosemary, and we've got some random things here which I have no idea if these are a flower or something else, and then there's a parsley here. So I had put a bigger piece of parsley here, but it looks like at least one piece of it transferred, so that's good. Oh look, we've got mystery tomatoes, volunteer tomatoes on the pathway here. Yeah, I don't know if I want to leave them there or not. I don't really walk this way, so I might leave them. I'm not sure. But let's look at this pot over here that I've neglected, because I just realized I haven't done a video with the pots lately. So over here we've got the rosemary. We've got another piece of this darn thing sneaking in. So this, last time I did a video, I did talk about this sneak in. This is the wild grape. And also the problem is we've got the ornamental grasses sneaking in again. I'm gonna have to figure out trimming that back because I can't really dig it out. Like, I keep trying and it's really hard to dig out. So I at least want to cut it short so it's not in my way here. We've got the potatoes. So the potatoes actually have, that's scratching me. The potatoes have the flowers, but they also have aphids. And look at this. So you will see the ants hanging out with the aphids because the ants harvest honeydew from the aphids. So you can see the ants are hanging out here going like, oh yeah, we're like checking on our aphids here. And there's a little aphid wiggling. So yeah, we've got a symbiotic thing going here where the aphids and the ants work together. But it doesn't make me happy because they're on my potato plants. Like, they need to go find something else to be on. That's not my things. So nature's cool in that way, but also really annoying because this is my garden. I don't want you in here. Over here, amidst all this mess, is my pot blueberry, my patio blueberry. So that, I'm going to have to move the pot or trim this awful stuff back, because even as I'm trying to show it to you, it's scratching me, and I don't want to really get scratched because that's like razor wire, and it will draw blood if you rub your arm on it, which I have learned the hard way, and I don't want to anymore. Oh, I did forget to say, in the middle here is some more bok choy. I might have to thin this because it looks like they're kind of close together. I don't know. I'm going to have to see how badly you need to thin bok choy, because we've got a few that are on top of each other. Like over here, there's like 2 or 3 on top of each other, but I don't know how much it holds to. You absolutely have to split them. I guess I'll just kind of wait and see how that goes. I think I've covered everything for this week's tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed showing you all the things growing this morning. And I hope that if you're enjoying my video, you give it a like and subscribe so you can follow along with the weekly updates. Thank you, and see you next time.